Hi there traders, this is a trade about the pound dollar pair. There's an opportunity that's coming up on buying the pound, particularly after Brexit and the drop in value of the pound against the dollar. And the reason this trade is setting up is, first of all, the pound is at historic lows against the dollar. The Brexit decision rapidly devalued the pound. However, some data out last week indicates that the Bank of England is going to be coming under increasing pressure to raise interest rates. The inflation figures showed an increase in inflation last week in the price of fuel, commodities. And what that means in sort of layman's terms is that the price of making and manufacturing and providing goods is increasing. But at the moment, that price has not been passed on in full to the consumer. Yes, some companies have begun to put that increase to the consumer, but that hasn't really happened in a full-scale way, and the data showed that the inflation wasn't following through from the commodities and the fuel into consumer arenas. So what this means is eventually companies will have to pass on the cost of rising fuel and rising commodities. And because of the OPEC oil agreement, which seems to be sort of pretty much being kept at the moment, oil seems to be only going one way. It only seems to be rising. So when you put that all together, you can think, okay, shortly inflation is going, as it seems at the moment, is going to be coming to Britain, to our economy. So which will mean that the Bank of England will be under pressure to hike interest rates as a way of controlling that inflation. That's the typical way the relationship works. So this means that there's a pressure to support and to raise interest rates on the economy, which is bullish for the pound. So this is a monthly chart I'm looking at here. So technically, this is a good time to buy the pound as well as fundamentally. What you can see is from this low level, this 1.15 level, price has been bought up and there's sort of pretty solid buying support at 1.2. So I've bought a couple of positions in here around 1.25, 124.50, that sort of area. And what I'm looking to do is I'm looking for a pop in prices up to 1.28, maybe even up to, 1.37. We'll see how it goes. But this is a monthly chart, so this could take quite a while to play out. But I'm looking at buying two further positions down at 1.2. So I'm in two positions, 1.245. If price drops down further, I'm looking to buy at 1.2, and then either just taking a quick pop up to 1.28, or maybe beyond. We'll just have to see how that goes. So that is a trade that's coming up on the pound. It's a good trade. Obviously, okay, so where do you get out if things go wrong? For me, I have my stop underneath the relevant monthly lows, which is here, this swing point. So it's a large stop. So that's where I'll be getting out in an emergency situation. However, if price drops down and sort of closes in between this area here and here, I will be thinking very carefully about whether I carry on my positions or not, and I'll almost certainly be ditching that. But there's always possibility you might get a price spikes down and buys up. So if that's the case, I'm going to be keeping my stop below the monthly low. So that's the way I'm playing it. You can see that last month price superseded the price of that inside bar. You see these coiling inside bars. And then if you go to the weekly chart, you can see it's really quite solid buying interest from 1.2, both here and here. So typically you're looking for price to roll down and then to spring back up, and at least playing for the top of that range. Okay guys, that's the way I'm trading the pound dollar. Maybe you want to follow along. If you want to follow along and see how I do with this trade, just follow along my account. I've got a link to my account at the bottom, and you can see how this trade plays out over weeks and months. Why not follow? Why not see how it goes? Or alternatively, if you like my video, just hit like, hit subscribe, and you'll get updates on my videos as I'm trading the foreign exchange. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Please do leave a comment or hit a like. It just encourages me to think, oh, people appreciate the videos and people like them. So if you've got 2 seconds to do that, I would appreciate it. Okay, thanks, guys. Bye.